Well, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is from the Sidelines. And as we do every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that has been played. Gentlemen, round 18 has just completed.
Yes.
Some amazing scorelines. But before we get going, how are you tonight?
It's great to be in the winner's circle, Steve.
You have to bring that up again.
This is actually take two from that.
And as I said, when they're winning, they're gloating, and when they're losing, they are silent.
We are. Let me tell you, Brian and I.
Whoa!
Excuse me.
What the heck?
Talk about unprofessional.
Whoa! Sorry about that, guys. My phone was not on silent.
Brian and I are humble winners.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we are humble winners.
Yeah. You've not seen me after a grand final win lately.
Thankfully.
No.
Oh, dear. So, generally, we're going to talk about round 18, and we're going to talk about round 18 just played. We're going to talk about state of origin. Those teams were selected today. We are going to talk about, obviously, next week's shortened round. And I want to talk about some of the bloopers that the bunker are making. But we'll talk about those through each game, I think, because there are three main ones this weekend that have driven me batty.
Sure. Okay.
So,
all right, let's go. Let's start, Steve.
Go. So, Thursday night, Cronulla Sharks 52, St George Illawarra 16.
Oh, it was close, wasn't it?
It was very close.
Comparatively.
Barry is sucking up to you. He's trying to say yes, that they really put in an effort.
Yeah. Barry, on the first take, let me just tell you, he didn't say it was close. What can you say? How good's Nico Hines going?
Yes. Yeah.
Like he was.
He almost should be considered for Origin, I reckon.
Almost. But let's not choose an informed halfback from that's running rings around opposition. Let's not do that. No, he's going great guns. The Sharks are all over him. The Dragons.
Well, the Dragons started out. They scored first
In the first minute.
and actually looked in the first half like they were going to be competitive.
Ooh. They were 4 tries to 2 down at the end of the first half.
The beginning of the first half, the first 5 minutes, they looked really good.
The first 20 minutes, they were up.
Yes.
And then the wheels fell off.
And to the credit of the Sharks, they scored continuously, like consistently throughout the half. They didn't go bang, 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 30 points and then go into their shell. They scored right through the 80 minutes, very consistently. So that's a sign of a team in form.
Yeah, and the Dragons have got issues. Like, and it's not their supporters. It's their management and the way that the team is being structured. So, to have your captain and highest paid player have a little spit after a coach gets sacked and want to walk, and now they're telling Zach Lomax apparently that don't worry about your contract, which is a bit hypocritical, really. Ben Hunt, we want you. You're sticking to your contract. Hey Lomax, you're signed for 3 more years. We don't want you by.
No. There's a report in today's paper that says Flanagan says no. Lomax is seeing out his contract.
See, I thought maybe Flanagan had directed Lomax maybe to move.
Well, there's a lot of contradictory information coming out of St George at the moment.
And look, that's the problem with a club, and I feel for you to an extent, Barry, because that's a problem with a club in trouble. Is that the news just doesn't get better for a long time.
And I got to look. I'm sorry. I have to correct myself here. I said St George. It's actually St George Illawarra.
Yes.
And we should always remember, it is St George Illawarra, not just St George.
Yeah, St Merge.
There's a background for Barry.
It's St Merge. Oh man, they ate Illawarra, man.
They wear the Illawarra socks.
I'm still not over the fact that Illawarra's gone.
Excuse me.
All right.
Northern Eagles.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
only one of those survived, didn't they?
If you think St George stabbed Illawarra, just see what Manly did to North Sydney.
Please.
It wasn't a stabbing.
Oh my goodness! All right, let's move on.
Took a machete to them.
Let's move on.
Next.
Okay, let's go on to Friday night's game. The first on the Friday night, South Sydney Rabbitohs 28, Warriors 6.
Didn't see this game. Sorry.
This was one of the wettest games you will see all year.
Yeah, but South still played with a bit of style and flair.
South, compared to what they've done the last 5 weeks, South were brilliant.
Yeah, what happened?
I have no idea.
What happened to the Warriors, really?
How did this is nearly a 50-point turnaround from the Bunnies.
I know.
What is going on?
I know. How good is it?
No, I picked the Warriors.
Me too.
Well, see, it's interesting. A few weeks ago, Tom, the Roosters beat the Warriors in New Zealand
Yep.
on a very, very wet day.
Mm.
Again, another very wet day. For some reason, and I don't know if it's coaching or the players, but they're not coping with the wet weather. Now, both teams had excellent completion rates. Both of them. For the type of weather it was an exceptional game.
Yeah.
But yes, South just showed their class. I mean, Cody Walker again. He really turned on. He was on fire.
He almost should be considered for Origin.
Almost.
Almost. I want to bring you to a, and this is one of the things that the bunker got wrong.
Which one?
Okay, there was a penalty given against South, and I'm bringing this up so I don't understand what they said. So there's a penalty against South. The Warriors kicked for the ball. Alex Johnson took the ball in goal. They said there was a player who blocked. Now, what they actually penalised him for was not taking up a position. So Richie Kenner was running straight to Alex Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay? Running straight down. He did not deviate. And even the commentator said, did not deviate.
Yep.
But a player came in behind him and hit him.
Right.
The ref said, but you didn't take up a position. I don't know what that means. He's allowed to run to a player. If Johnson was to drop the ball, he's allowed to be there to try and gather it or whatever.
To clean it up, yeah. But he was
what does that mean?
he was getting in the way. It was an escort. It was an escort. In
In
effect, it was an escort. He was getting in the way.
He ran straight line. We've always said you can run a straight line.
Well, then he needs to move faster because he was pretty slow.
Well, okay, we're going to talk about that for the next
Well,
one.
that's true. If you run slow enough, you can actually obstruct the player from getting. You know.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But no one ever penalises you for running slow.
Okay, all right. I'll admit that was a little bit pointy. All right, you got the pointy end of the pineapple, Steve.
Look,
but you're won by 22 points, so just take it.
No, I'm not taking it because I'm just saying there are 3 major decisions by the bunker this weekend,
and some that the bunker didn't make that we can also discuss.
There are, but
anyway.
there are 3 that I've highlighted that I think an absolute disgrace.
Yep.
This one I didn't understand because I don't understand what it means for a player to take up a position.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
All right.
Anyway, okay. Look, Souths were exceptional. The Warriors I thought played well, but they just didn't have the class to go with the Bunnies. Marvel Stadium, this is another strange one. Panthers 34, Storm 16. Storm got to a 14-0 lead by the Storm.
Yeah.
They were cruising. They were well on top of the Panthers.
I don't know whether it was cruising.
What would you call it?
14-0. Like I said, you know what?
They were well on top.
The problem is, Steve, we're old.
No, the problem might be you're old.
No.
I'm a young old person.
No. The problem is that we're old, and we remember games when 14 points was a good win. When in actual fact, this game was, I thought, closer than the scoreline indicated. And I know you're saying they were on top, but if we're going to talk about bad bunker decisions...
Yes, okay, and this is my second
Go
one.
ahead.
Okay, and this is where Nelson...
Yep.
Big Nelson
Yeah.
drops the ball over the line. Now, the ruling has always been, if you lose control of the ball, you have to regain control before it hits the ground. The only way Nelson regained control was when it hit the ground.
Right.
Yep. And
how was that a try?
And not only did he lose the ball, he promoted the ball. Not only did he promote the ball, Dylan Edwards had both his hands on him. Like, it was a no try, and the bunker gave it as a try.
I posted on our Facebook page, it's time to blow up the bunker. Because there are 3 decisions this weekend that were an absolute joke.
That I had absolutely no concept of how that was given a try. That was the most strange decision I've come across.
Yes, but I'm not going to mention her name.
Oh, her name. Okay.
I think. I can't remember. If she was in for one of them. I can't remember.
Yeah, but apart from that, the Panthers were good. I know that the Storm went out to a lead, but Isaac Tago, like, where did he come from? Like, seriously,
he had a really good game.
The bloke's like 4 foot high, and he's just this tiny little bloke, and they just couldn't stop him.
He hasn't had a bad game since he started.
No.
When, there was one incident where I feel sorry for Warbrick because I'm actually a bit of a fan. Like the fact that this is his first year and he's doing so well, But he's run to tackle him, and he's just gone bang.
Yeah.
And basically all that did to Tago was go, oh, I can't go left, I better go right.
Yeah, no, he's got good vision.
Yeah. It was sensational. I think he's a great player.
What is it with Panthers being able to come up with these 4-foot nuggets
Because
that are as solid as a rock?
Well, it's because they own all of the West. That's why.
Yeah, but they develop it.
Yeah,
They spot the talent and take it on.
Taro, every time a Panther player leaves, everyone thinks the Panthers are going to die, but they pull up another one who's...
They've got the biggest nursery in the game. So.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
Well,
So they say. But, they call juniors like, Dylan Edwards. He actually came from Albury, but we won't worry about that because that's in Panther Town.
Well, that's my point.
Yeah, that's right. They've got the entire state of New South Wales, according to them.
Correct. Yeah.
And look,
I won't go there. But anyway,
I gotta say,
you just went there.
I'm not going to say what I think.
I was surprised that Melbourne capitulated as quickly as they did and as easly as they did. They lost the fight.
But you know what it was? It was, I think, probably the turning point in my head for when the Storm actually started to lose it was when Luai made that tackle on, can't remember who he tackled, and straight away everybody's up in the air. Harry Grant's rushing in. Was just a good tackle. At that point, they just totally lost their cool, and you cannot win games on emotion.
No. All right, let's go on to the first on the Saturday, which was the Canberra Raiders and Gold Coast Titans. Canberra winning 26-22.
Got any bunker decisions in this one, Steve?
I do. Here's the third one I want to bring up, and this is the one where Fafita was denied a try because exactly the same situation as the South game, but the player slowed down, which is what happened in the South game. So he's allowed to block and hold someone back or stop someone from getting through. I think that's a block. I thought that was a block being a blocker.
No. You know what I don't understand? I don't understand the fact that he slowed down and Fafita pushed him out of the way and scored, and then they go, well, you can't do that.
No, exactly. Well, and honestly,
it's like tackling a bloke without the ball. Yeah. I don't understand.
So what, you think it shouldn't have been a try?
No, I think it should have been a try.
Of course it should have.
If was it Jamal Fogarty? No, I can't remember who it was. But if Fafita had been going in the act of scoring and the Raiders player had shoved him, pushed him, grabbed him, well, you're tackling the bloke who's trying to score. But you can stand in front of him and deliberately block him.
Yeah. And he backed into him, didn't he? Yeah.
And I got to tell you, I didn't think Fafita pushed him that hard.
No.
I mean, there were hands on him, but
he was competing.
He's
saying, get it away, I want to get at the ball.
You think what he could have done by running over the top of him and made him a smear on the ground.
That's right.
But he didn't.
A little mincemeat patty.
I'm sorry.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
No.
That was a bizarre decision.
And you know what? The South game, it made no difference.
Yep.
The Melbourne game, it made no difference.
Well, the other thing...
This game, it made a difference.
You know what the other thing is? There are a couple of decisions this weekend where the referee's interpretation, and this I don't mind, of the advantage rule. So in this game, the winger, Khan Pereira, was about to score, dropped the ball cold, and then got up to complain to the ref. The Raiders pick up the ball, and Matt Timiko races downfield and scores.
Yes.
And it's like, and the ref actually ruled that he had played enough advantage.
Yes.
They'd taken advantage.
And I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah. I'm just really surprised if people are blowing up about it, because what are they supposed to do? Like, let him go 2 or 3 tackles and then bring it back? Like, I think that was fine.
And look, I mean, people always say, once you've gone 10 metres, that's usually advantage. But there is no particular distance.
No, there's not.
But if you've passed the ball out a few times and you're over the line and you drop the ball, that's a pretty big advantage.
Yeah.
Sure. And the Titans players just stopped.
They did. You got to play the whistle, guys. Play the whistle,
right? And so, but this was the only game where the bunker really did make a decision on who won and lost, because at that point of the Fafita, it would have been 12-all at halftime.
Yep.
Instead of 12-6 at halftime.
Yep.
So the second half would have still played on.
Yeah.
As per normal.
And then of course that incident occurred 5 minutes into the second half.
Yes, but if you take it, they're still the Titans still win 28-26. Anyway.
What do we think of the Raiders at the moment?
I think they're going well.
I think Ricky Stewart summed it up when he said they've got an ugly... They can win ugly. I don't know whether they can win pretty, though. And you've got to be able to put teams to bed.
Oh, yeah.
So let's look at our next game, talking about putting to bed.
Well, I got a bit torn apart on... Was it... during the week when I talked about... Was it about Parramatta and how they've beaten a few lesser teams? So I'm not going to say anything about Canberra.
True.
All right, let's go on to... Oh, goodness. North Queensland 74, Tigers zip. What a turnaround.
And last year they were beaten 72 by the Roosters, so they've had some floggings, the Tigers.
Well, can I just say, I turned this off after about 30 minutes.
You know,
it was pathetic.
You know what I liked about this? Usually coaches say, "Oh, we don't worry about what's happened in other games. We forget about that. We just come out to play our own game."
Yeah.
But here's the coach of the Cowboys, who says, "I put posters all over the place of the last time we played where they beat us 66 to 18."
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's put them all over the place and reminded
Yep.
them. I thought, what a great thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought, well, yeah, because it worked. It was a great idea because it worked. If they come out and lost again 66-18...
What's exciting about the Cowboys at the moment is their connectedness. You know, and somebody countered me today and said, "Yeah, but it was the Tigers." I said, "But the point is, they're showing if you beat a team that well, you gain confidence.
Yes,
you start to build your confidence in your game, and the connectedness between Drinkwater and Dearden." And not so much Chad Townsend. Who's the other person I'm thinking about? Val Holmes.
Yep.
The connectedness between those players, and they're all doing their part, is incredible. And when they're on, I mean, they could beat anybody. The Cowboys, seriously. Yep. I mean, they wouldn't beat other teams 74-0, but they would comfortably.
Well, they have. They've beaten Penrith. They've beaten South. They've beaten Melbourne.
Yeah.
I take your point, but and. We go back to round 9. The Tigers beat the Panthers 12-8.
Yep.
And that was a full strength.
Yes.
That was a full strength Panthers at Bathurst.
Yes.
So it was in the Panthers' backyard. Then they beat the Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know whether that's much of an accomplishment, but they beat the Dragons.
Yeah.
They did get beaten by the Bunnies, and then they beat the team that they just got flogged by 66-18.
Correct. Yep.
You would think 3 wins out of 4. With a 66-point win in the middle there.
Yeah.
Then they lose by 1, and then they just fell apart.
Yeah.
74-0 is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It is. And I know there are calls for Sheens to be sacked, but that's not going to do any good at all.
Well, you know what, and I can say, and there's been some people on our Facebook page, feel free to join the discussion, that are saying, "Oh, we need a conference system, we need relegation." Oh, yeah, because I can really see the Central Coast Bears coming in and doing much better than 74-0.
Well, hang on, but you say that, but the Dolphins have just come in and look how good they're flying.
Yeah,
how they were flying.
But let me just say they had years to prepare. We're talking this year. If somebody comes in, it's not going to happen.
I don't like the relegation system because
Dumb, stupid
I think
idea.
because the danger is you then have teams like Wentworthville and Asquith and all those ones vying to get up there. This was discussed years ago. I don't like it.
No, and it can't happen.
Well, that's different from a conference system, though.
Yeah, no, conference system I actually don't mind.
Conference system is also dumb, but we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
The angry Manly bloke.
All right, let's go on to Brisbane Broncos 24, Dolphins 16. Now, Tom, I know you say about the Dolphins, but they got beat as well. But they're competitive. This is year 1, and they're most games they're competitive.
They didn't look like they were going to win the game at any point. But I never thought they were going to win the game at any point.
They were leading at one stage.
Yeah, but I thought that the Broncos had too much class. I think there was a point where the Dolphins got ahead, and I thought to myself, is this the fading of the Broncos? Because they've shown signs lately, the last couple of weeks, win or lose, that they're just not aggressive enough. I think Geez, Selwyn Cobbo was special.
Oh yeah, he scored that kick through. He scored was superb.
Yeah. You can see why they make comparisons to Latrell with him. You know, he's similar body. He's a Koori guy. He's just got that speed and that natural ability. You know, when he's on, he's really on.
Yeah. He seems to really enjoy playing. He's always got a smile on his face.
For sure.
Yeah, look, I thought the Dolphins did well, but they don't have the class of the Broncos, but I'm really pleased to see them being competitive. Now
they're a Queensland team, so he won't care.
He won't care. So we did have a 52-6. We did have a 74-0, and then on Sunday, so we kept the pace throughout the weekend. Just to keep pace, we had Newcastle Knights 66, Dogs 0.
Gee, you wouldn't want to be a Dogs fan, would you?
Well, or a Tigers fan, by the way.
Yeah, but see, I think there's a little bit of a difference. The Tigers have been woeful for a number of years. Well, the Dogs have too.
Dogs have too.
But the Dogs bought really well.
Yep.
There were many people who were tipping the Dogs to make the 8, and let's face it, the Knights are coming fourth last.
I know, and that's the point.
Like the Knights aren't in contention. They're one of the teams that most people have written off.
Yeah,
and they look like world beaters the other day.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know which game was worse. Can you tell me which of these games, the 66-0 or the 74-0? Because I at least think the Tigers, they put together some moves. I don't think the Dogs.
I think this was a worse game only because of who they played against. I mean, but the Cowboys are a really good team, and you get beat 74-0. But like you just said, the Knights aren't really a good team at the moment, and you get beaten 66-0.
And the Dogs didn't offer a single shred of defence.
No,
they were terrible.
And Dom Young doesn't score a try in 66.
How does he not score a try?
Unbelievable. Well, they went down the left-hand side most of the time. But gee, and look, Kalaponga is really having a really good back end of the season.
Can I just say, another Queenslander who said, no thanks, I don't want to play for you. Just putting it out there. Queenslanders don't do that.
There were mitigating circumstances.
Who would be a Dog supporter?
I don't care. He's had his brain sort of knocked around.
Oh, what? So State of Origin is different to 66? Well, actually, it is different to 66.
Yeah, he barely had to play in this one and still scored.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay, let's move on to the last game of the round. Gentlemen, I'm going to let you fight this one out. Manly 18, Roosters 16. Take over.
Tom, I'd like you to have first say.
I was really pleased with my team's effort. I thought that they were much, much more competitive than they've been for some time. Their defence... Look, I think both teams... And I posted, I said, this is like Manly... Roosters 2013 defence, that isolated on this day. I thought their defence was exceptional, both teams. Look, their attack's still pretty clunky. Look, I think it. I hesitate to say this because I know I'm going to get held down, but I think there are a couple of decisions that were probably I thought were 50-50. The advantage, you mentioned advantage before, Schuster drops the ball, Sandon Smith kicks the ball forward. The only thing that happened was he kicked the ball forward, was tackled and knocked on, and they said, no, you've had your advantage. I thought that was a poor call, honestly.
Yeah, and this is where we say the advantage.
I thought that was a poor call, because that could have given us an opportunity. The Cherry Evans, when he didn't play the ball properly, I don't remember what was happening there, that you got a 6 again. So he got up and he didn't play the ball properly, and the rule supposedly is you're responsible for playing the ball properly.
Yeah, but you're also responsible for clearing the ruck, and you don't. So
well, he got 6 again. You went on to score, and that was the game.
Okay.
Look, I was pleased with the fact that we were competitive.
Okay. Right.
Sea Eagles were terrible. We had.
Is that a knife in the back?
No, I mean they were woeful.
Okay.
Well, at one point we had 70% possession. Our forwards made about 390 metres less than the Raiders.
I thought you beat us on all the stats.
We were not ahead in any stat except for the kicking game of Cherry Evans. Thank goodness.
Cherry, he carried that team.
Yeah, he did.
I don't know how Rory Hargraves can sleep at night. What? That guy's a grub.
I've brought that up
I'll
before.
say it
Well, he
now.
learned everything he learned at the Sea Eagles.
Feel free to sue me. Like, at one point he had 3 goes at Toff Sipley's face around the eyes.
Actually, I did see that. It did look pretty ordinary.
And what's the ref doing?
It did look pretty ordinary.
I get the first time you grab a bloke and you go, oh, got his eyes, you let go.
Yeah.
Man, what does Hargraves do? Oh, I'll have another go, and I'll have a third go.
That did look a bit ordinary.
That was very ordinary. But look, the Sea Eagles are beaten hands down. I do not know how they won that game. It was the Roosters' attack really is that bad.
I got to say, I loved. Well, I didn't love, but I thought Cherry Evans' intercept was spectacular.
I love intercepts.
I hated it the time I saw
and
it.
it was so easy for him.
I know.
Honestly,
Why did he pass it?
I don't know, but it was right in front of him.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. And Parramatta had the bye. So, gentlemen, who's going to do the ladder for us?
My turn.
Oh.
Ladder. Panthers on top. 26. Broncos 26. Sharks 24. Storm 24. That round makes your top 4. Raiders in 5th on 24. Then the Eels, the Rabbitohs, the Warriors round out the 8 on 22 points. Cowboys and the Titans on 20. Sea Eagles on 19. Dolphins, Roosters on 18. Knights on 17. Bulldogs 14. And the Dragons and West Tigers on 12 points.
All right, gentlemen, I want to take a few minutes and talk about State of Origin. The team has been announced. So, Tedesco, To'o, Crichton, Bradman Best, we'll talk about that, Josh Addo-Carr, Cody Walker, Mitchell Moses, Jake Trbojevic, Damien Cook, Campbell Gillard, Liam Martin, Keon Koloamatangi, Cameron Murray, Isaiah Yeo, Jacob Saifiti, Reece Robinson, Clint Gutherson, Scott Drinkwater, and Spencer Lenu. What do you think of the team?
It sounds like desperation, and it sounds like...
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And okay, what don't you like about it to start with?
Okay. I don't like the fact that Bradman Best has had 1 good game in 3 years, and he's in the team.
It's probably stretching a bit, but yeah, he doesn't look to me like he's in the squad. Yeah.
I don't like the fact that if you're going to make changes, and don't hear me wrong, I love Addo-Carr, but I've watched both of those games again, and he just does not bring the ball back.
No.
If he's clear, he's fine. I don't like that Cody Walker is in the team. I think Nicho Hines he's had 1 bad game all year. It just happened to be before Origin 2, and they've left him out.
Yep.
Love the forward pack.
Yeah.
Love that. That should have been near our starting forward pack from game 1.
Do you think Paolo had such a bad run?
I was just trying to look up whether he was injured.
He's not. Oh, he's certainly not playing.
Like that's, and which leads me to the bench. Criticism from the bench from the previous games has been, where is our size? Where's our go forward? What happens if something goes wrong? And we've got a hooker and a fullback on the bench.
And 1 big man.
And 1 prop.
Yeah.
That makes... And it was a prop who was exceptional last year, but for some reason didn't get picked for the first 2 games this year.
Yep.
And we've dropped the aggression of Hudson Young. We dropped the aggression of Tavita Pangai Jr. We dropped Junior Paulo. What is going on? I think it's our best forward pack, starting pack.
But we picked in the first state of first or second. We picked aggression for aggression's sake, and that didn't get us anywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't mind this team. I agree with you about Addo-Carr. I agree with you actually about Cody Walker. I would have picked Hines. I think Cody's playing exceptional. I'm really happy he's in the team.
It'll be interesting
but
to
I
see
would have picked Hines.
what the combination is like with Cody and Mitchell.
Yeah, and I like the fact Jake's back.
Oh, absolutely. Jake picks himself. Yeah, honestly.
Man, he was exceptional against the Roosters.
Here's what I don't understand.
Yeah, had to come back this week, didn't he?
Here's what I don't understand. I put this on Facebook today.
Yep.
Why are we running Clint Gutherson on the bench?
Ahead of Hines, ahead of anyone.
Well, I'd put Leonard. The thing is, if you're going to have a bench that has Saifiti, Reece Robinson,
yep,
Gutherson, Sorry, who we got? Yo, Safidi, Reece Robinson, and Gutherson. It doesn't make sense to have Reece Robinson and Gutherson on the bench.
Nope,
if you
agree.
if you want Gutherson, then get rid of Reece Robinson, and he can fill in for Damien Cook when
And I believe that he could.
Personally,
Exactly.
I would have swapped Yo for Paolo. I mean, I think Yo can only play one position in reality, and Cameron Murray's starting. So I would, and Yo hasn't been. He's a great player, but he hasn't been great for Origin, honestly.
No.
I would have dropped Yo, put Paulo back in to have some size on the bench. Look, I think Gutherson probably doesn't fit the mix, but he deserves an Origin spot. He's just tremendous.
Yeah, but not ahead of Hines, who has been in the system and playing.
That's what I just said.
And not on the bench. I'd put Leno on the bench. Leno should be in the bench. 100%. I'd be carrying bigger forwards in the bench.
Well, I think we need bigger blokes on the bench too. That's I'm greatly concerned.
Yeah, and Drinkwater's playing sensational, but he's just not in the pecking order, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think Bradman Best look. I like him. I think he's a good player. I think he's got exceptional talent.
Yeah, agree.
In a good team, I think.
If anything, I would have put
excellent.
Clint Gutherson in Bradman Best's position because he's been a centre.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
been a centre, been a winger,
he's a terrific
been a 5'8",
player.
been a halfback.
I would have put him in the centres.
I don't know.
And I would have got rid of Josh Gardeka.
Do we want to play our message?
We don't want to play our message. We have some people who watch the show, listen to the show, watchers, and one of those people, I asked them, "What do you think of the State of Origin team? Do you have any comments?" And they actually made a good comment regarding the mental health of players and the way that fits into our game. So we have some players in the game that the media love.
Yep.
And we have some players in the game that the media ignore. We have some players in the game that the fans love. So, dare anyone say a bad word about Tommy and, hell will rain down.
Latrell.
Latrell cops his fair share.
He does.
I don't know. I mean, you mentioned three different types of people, and I just said Latrell's a media person.
I would, and we've got this player for New South Wales, Jerome Luai.
Yeah.
Jerome Luai cops it left, right, and centre from the media and the fans, and basically, as far as I can tell, the only people who like him are an occasional supporter and the Penrith supporters. So Annalise has said, what about this player's welfare? And apparently, as he's been dropped from the team, he's now receiving all kinds of social media cop back from the
that's
keyboard
pathetic.
warriors.
That's pathetic.
Look, can I say, we're probably sitting here with three different opinions on Luai. I think he should have been picked. I love the fact that Queensland hate him, and I think his game's good enough. Stephen, on the other hand, thinks, well, maybe he could run more, and and shouldn't be there. And you know what? That's got nothing to do with the bloke as a person.
No, not at all.
It's got to do with what we think he can do on the field. And honestly, if your job is to play football, and someone thinks that you need to alter that, then by all means, I think that we have the right as fans, as supporters, to say yes or no. This is
correct.
A good.
But we don't have a right to be personal and bag people
Correct.
out, and we don't do that.
No.
In the show, we have a lot of fun, and we banter a bit and all that sort of stuff. But we will never be personal. We will never be nasty.
Yep.
And we won't.
Yeah. And to clarify,
let's hope that we haven't. I mean,
And to clarify, I was going to say somebody may come back and say, yeah, but you called Jared Hargraves a grub. That's because he groped someone's eye. Personally, mate, I would love an enforcer like that in my team. I just don't want him to grab people's eyes.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah,
I agree.
Very frustrating. So Annalise, I take your point. We all take your point.
We do.
Well, we nobody wants to,
Yeah. And should he have been picked? Well, that's a matter of opinion. You've got one yes at this table.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go on to round 19. Just a years going quick.
Baby.
West Tigers and Cronulla Sharks.
I wonder.
Now, hang on. Okay. I was about to say, but Hines has got State of Origin, but he doesn't.
No, he doesn't.
So, is anyone in Cronulla in State of Origin?
No.
Oh, Tigers.
How does a team tell me? And how does a team that is top 8 for the last couple of years and pushing towards that premiership window not have a single player in State of Origin?
But they will have some Queensland. No,
How
Queensland.
under the radar are the Sharks? Tigers are gone. They're gone. Yeah,
that may say something about the selection process of the Blues.
Yep. And I'll be honest with you, West Tigers fans. I know you've lost Adam Dewey, Luke Brooks, and hang on, who was the fullback that they lost?
They lost Happy.
They lost Appy, sorry, the hooker. Yeah. You lost 3 out of your 4 spine. You got no depth. You're gone.
Would you like to winning margin?
Tipping the Sharks.
I reckon Sharks by about 30. And that's conservative.
I agree with you. Sharks by 30.
Yep.
Okay, let's go on to Wynn Stadium. Barry, this should be a close one for you. St George Illawarra against the Canberra Raiders. Always a good match between these two.
Yeah.
Raiders,
sorry.
Raiders, yeah.
It pains me because I don't think the Raiders are all that, but I can't see the Dragons getting up without Ben Hunt.
Eels and the Warriors. Now, Eels are going to be without Moses,
and
Gutherson, and Campbell Gillard.
And also the guys gone on the Queensland bench, the lock that they got this year.
Hopgood.
Yeah, he's been named. He's been named.
No, he's in my Supercoach team.
Yeah, he's been named.
Oh, I forget Supercoach. Honestly,
Paolo.
These bye rounds are killing.
No Regan Campbell do that either.
All right, I'm going
yes,
Warriors. Tom just convinced me to go to the Warriors. I was going to go to the Warriors anyway, but
I'm thinking I'm going to stick with Parramatta.
Yeah, you will not, you liar.
Probably not. Okay, let's go on to a core stadium where South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Dogs. Now,
no
South will be without Latrell,
Cody,
Campbell Graham, Cameron Murray.
Campbell
Graham's injured. Yeah, he won't be playing.
Yeah. I did that to him. I put him on my Super Fantasy League team.
South will be without 6 players.
But their opposition had 66 put on them.
Yeah, but there is a bounce back.
But they've only got one player who can actually score points, and that's Addo Carr, and he's in the State of Origin team, and I think Burton's going to be suspended.
Oh, is
it?
Why?
Oh, I don't know. Some innocuous event in the last game.
Rabbitohs.
I'm going to that game. Trace and I are going to go and watch that game. So.
I hope they lose.
Another short round, by the way.
And the last game of the round is Titans and the Dolphins.
Who cares? Queensland.
I'll give the Titans a chance again.
You suck, Queensland.
I'm going to go Dolphins here.
No, I'm going Titans.
All right, and the byes: Broncos, Sea Eagles, Storm, Knights, Cowboys, Panthers, and Roosters. So you two get the weekend off.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, but you know what? You get round 26 off before you play us.
Yes, I know.
We're
How good is
that? Yeah, we're just loving that.
Yep.
How good is that? All right. Brian, anything intelligent on the show with?
Yeah, Bren, don't go talking about stupid conference stuff. That's just dumb. All right, that's all I've got. Like, seriously, if you're going to make comments on Facebook, I can't wait to see what you guys think. Well, like, seriously, have an opinion that's worthwhile.
And now Brian's going to tell us what he really thinks.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not holding back.
I can tell.
I'll tell you why I don't like the conference system.
You got called an angry man through the weekend.
You know what?
Through the week.
Who chooses the conferences? You get North, South, New South Wales, others. What happens to the rivalries? Nothing. They're gone.
Well, I think
and we don't get, and then you don't get to see your team play the best. You get to see them play your conference. It's a stupid idea.
Well, I guess the point is don't get dropped.
So
the conference.
But if each conference has, say, 9 teams, right? Okay, then they play 18 games, 40 games. That leaves 6-7 games other than that.
Well, that's not conference. That's just a stupid draw.
No, but then it's like the NFL. No. What they do is they play within the division and they play out of the division for the other games. So there's still room to have those rivalries.
Yeah, you know what we do? You add 3 more teams. You have 19 rounds. Everybody plays a home game. An away game over 2 years. You play your State of Origin and everything else in the middle of the year.
That doesn't happen.
It should happen.
It doesn't happen, though.
All right.
Every week I apologise to everybody because the show's gone over. Seriously, I'm not apologising for it anymore. Just suck it up. You got a long show. Tom, anything you want to end with?
I got a buy, so we've got 2 points. Thanks.
Oh, good on you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for watching. You're watching From the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve, and you can watch us on Facebook. on YouTube and download this podcast on Spotify. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.